Thank you so much, Nita, for the introduction, and thank you, everyone, and good morning, everyone, and welcome to the seminar and workshop, which is delivered in conjunction with the Recontextualizing Contested Heritage project. It's about building capacity and designing participatory approaches to preserve cultural heritage by the youth. This project is actually funded by the Research England GCRF Fund at the University of Leeds, and we are working and collaborating with three international partners in Kosovo, Lebanon, and Iraq as well. My name is Gehan Selim. I'm an architect by background, and I'm also an associate professor of architecture and urbanism at the University of Leeds, and the project principal investigator at Leeds as well. Once again, I'd like to extremely welcome you all this morning on this online platform. It's a pleasure meeting and connecting and collaborating with all of you. Actually, it was our initial planning that myself and Dr. Andy will be traveling to Kosovo to meet you face to face and have fruitful discussions together. However, with this COVID situation pandemic, the travel restrictions, we're not able to travel, and we're having to do it online via Zoom, which is a great opportunity as well. I also wish to thank Nita and Linda, who are constantly supporting and enriching the activities and work on this project, having really excessive discussions how to make things happen and how to make things work successfully, changing our plans last minute when the lockdown started. So I hope that this event and what follows is a true success, and thank you very much, Nita and Linda, for all the help and support that we have been doing so far. I would just like to give a glimpse summary about what is this project about and what we're trying to achieve. The project has two main objectives. One is to develop a transformative model of regional partnerships on sustainable transitions of peace building and cultural exchange. This takes us to the next one, is to hopefully we're trying to establish a sustainable digital platform supported by the production and co-creation of young people in collaboration with three major international universities, as I mentioned at the start of my talk, in Lebanon, Iraq, and Kosovo. So we are doing very similar work, identical work with our two other international partners as well, in Beirut and in Iraq. The co-production research with the youth will widely identify issues and solutions to negotiate historical conflict and building local agreements on future awareness, protection, and nation rebuilding. So what we're trying to do, we're trying to mount an interdisciplinary approach, and I think the presence of all of you is really in enhancing that interdisciplinary approach with all the background and diverse background of each one of you. And we're trying to use the arts and humanities research as a tool to respond to a critical global challenge of the continuous destruction of cultural heritage in conflict regions. We also seek to catalyze knowledge exchange, shared learning, and capability development between researchers, international development professionals, and diverse young people groups to explore how can we collectively inform approaches to inclusive participatory decision-making, engagement, and co-production for sustainable outcomes. So to do this and to achieve that, we're trying to ask three main questions. First is, how can communities better draw upon heritage to highlight commonalities, cultural linkages, and educational understanding that can surpass ideological barriers and build sustainable peace? The second question is, how can engagement with the arts and humanities research around heritage as its values of human rights and social inclusion can ease circular effects of impact on conflict? And we finally ask, how can innovative approaches and tools to create skill-based arts provide access for young people to empower spaces of co-designing intercultural dialogues in response to these challenges? We also depart from a very simple hypothesis, is that identity is in part formed by narrated memories of the past and of belonging to one's place of origin. So we ask how young people could be able to rebuild new realities and new memories and also new spaces. To facilitate that, we feel that the increasing use of digital and online application had made history interpretation an increasingly powerful medium for encouraging the development of that dialogue and communicating values by the more digitally able young people. And digital media have not only reinvented the how knowledge is shared and disseminated, but it also has altered remembrance practices across time and space, and empowering young people to adopt new practices and generate their interpretation and version of the past. As such, your valued participation today and in the coming days and input really resonates with the new and urgently needed mode of digital memory that further foregrounds the importance of comparative, cross-boundary and transnational approaches toward post-conflict associated with contested past. Also, over the coming 2 days, we will be also engaging with training, documentation, co-production as a mean of plural participation of generating public memory to enable a growing number of young generation to revisit assumptions on the past and share their experiences via social media platforms and public displays. And indeed, through this project, there are numerous prospects of future cooperation and collaboration between the University of Leeds and everyone present on the online platform today, and especially for academics and non-academics participants today that are joining us. So it is a question of that, how can we contribute to develop a new, how can we develop new academic programs currently being discussed by both universities and both faculties. And as the field of cultural heritage transforms towards more critical perspective and interdisciplinary digitization, collaboration, and co-creation, the partnership that we have now and also questions of how can we extend that could initiate and look at expand of how can we become relevant to platform in creating a future field for Kosovo. My experience working with Nita and Linda so far shows that the University of Pristina has the potential to contribute to global conservations about the future and the future of heritage study across both universities. And I will be happy and really delighted to be collaborating on that. I will not take so much of the time so we can start our program today, but I wish to thank you all once again, and I also wish you an enjoyable and fruitful and constructive discussions today. Thank you very much.